So what's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel once again. You know, I appreciate having you here. Yeah, I'm in the garage again. I told you I would be. We're not allowed out. People in the last video were asking me, what's the bench? What's it all about? They didn't say what's it all about. That'd be weird, wouldn't it? What's it all about? What's that bench all about? For lifting motorcycles, isn't it? Yeah, that's a short video. So, people were asking about the motorcycle lift in the last video. Which one is it? What do I think of it? So, I'm going to let you know in this video, and also I'm going to do some modifications to it. Right, so here you have the bench. Ignore all this for the moment. We'll come back to that in a minute. That's some of the modifications I'm going to do to the bench. But this is it. It's in grey. And I kind of wanted a grey one simply because everyone else seemed to have red and I wanted something a little bit different. I should put all the lengths, widths and everything on the screen as I'm going along. It's also got this bit here which I like. So you can take that out if you want to take the back wheel off. So you can drop that out. And then just drop the back wheel down there. I've got to try and put this on with one hand now. It was heavier than I thought. The only problem I've got is this ramp. This ramp goes up and down and it can come off, but I don't really take it off. What's happening here is it's starting to bend on the little catches that go in there. There's just two little holes that the pegs go in, and as you go down, it goes up. But I would advise take that off. I've started taking it off now. I've left it on just for this video, just so you can see what it looks like. But that will go sort of like that when it goes down. It makes the bike nice and easy to get on and off. So this is the make Switzer, and it's a £1,000 lift. That's not the price, that's how much weight it takes. Excuse all the rubbish in the background over there. I should have cleaned up before I did this. You've got the hydraulics down here, and the way you do that is that pedal there. You just stand on that pedal there and you can determine whether you want it to go down fast or slow with that. That's the pedal that pumps it up, and that's quite simple. You just stand on that and push it down, and then you stand on that one and it goes down. I'm not going to do it now because I pumped it up earlier. I mean, I could do it, it's pretty easy, but I've put the bar in. This here is the safety bar, and that runs along there, and that's just in case this bit fails. I haven't had any problems with it yet, but if it does fail, that's just a safety feature that stops it collapsing. You've got two heights on that one. You've got that one and that one. I probably should have put it on that one for this, but I've only got it on that because I haven't got any bikes on the lift. As you can see, you're not idiots. Down at the front here, you've got these stabilizers, and you just screw those in the floor, and that's just to keep it in place. When you do want to move it, you just turn those, loosen them off, and then you've got like trolley wheels at the front here, and you've also got wheels at the back there, so very, very easy to maneuver. Right, up at the front is where the wheel clamps in, and you've got this little bar here where the wheel or the tyre sits in there, and then you come back here and you've got the clamp that you maneuver in and out like so, and then just clamp up with these. I use little wooden blocks because that's got very thin tyres on, and so has the 250 on the front. They've got very thin tyres, so I just put these blocks on, and what they do is you can either put them that way or that way, and it just helps to protect the rim a little bit. This isn't the greatest of wheel clamps, it's just a couple of bolts. You have to bolt it on when you get the table. They don't come on, so be prepared to get your spanners out. Only a few, it's quite easy to assemble, but they just bolt on there. I might get one of those ones where you roll in and you just flip up and it clamps in itself. I might invest in one of those at some point, but for now it does the job. I've had that on there and I've had that on there. Haven't had that on there yet, but both that and that clamps in there very, very nicely. Right, here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit better for putting the bikes on. It's got no lash down, tie down points, so what I'm going to do is fit those. So I've got these which are just little rings basically that bolt to the side, so I just need to drill some holes to attach those. I will put bigger washers on. I don't know if you can see that. The washers are not that great. These are eBay specials, so I'm just going to upgrade the washers, but apart from that, I'm just going to drill some holes and then fit them. It's always handy to have in a garage, a box of washers, and I've also got a little box of nuts and bolts, Allen key nuts and bolts. So they come in handy sometimes, but the little bolts will come in handy for something I'm doing in a minute. So all I need to do for these little beauties is work out where I need to put them. So what I've done is I've measured roughly from the front of the front wheel to where the handlebars are, because I'm going to tie down via the handlebars on most projects I do, or through the headstock. So as I said, what I've done is measured from the front of the tyre to the headstock handlebars roughly on each of the 3 bikes. So the little cub is about 60 centimetres, the Africa Twin is about 80 centimetres, and the CRF 250 that you can't see over there, so I don't know why I'm pointing, but I am. The CRF 250 Rally is about 70. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for the 70, which is right bang in the middle, which is spot on for the CRF 250. Probably because the CRF is going to spend most of its time on the bench. Well, it's not going to spend most of its time, but out of the 3 bikes, it's going to be on the bench more than the other 2, I would have thought, because I keep crashing it and breaking it. It's not my fault. It's not. It is. So all we're going to do is measure that, mark it with a Sharpie. I haven't got a centre punch because I can't find it, but I've got an old one of these, and what this is a little screwdriver and attachment with an old Phillips head in there. So I'm going to use that and bash it with a hammer. As soon as we're here, I might as well tell you the second thing we're going to do to the bench as well. And that is an idea that was given to me by Mr. Billy Big Bones. Yes, he's getting a mention again. And actually, he supplied me again as a gift with what I'm going to fit. And that's these. Now, he gave me these and then said what he did with them. And I thought, that's a bloody good idea. And what he did was he attached them to the bench. Not the same one, but he has a bench, and he's attached them to the side, and it just makes it easier to hold your tools in place, and any nuts and bolts that you take off, it just sticks to a magnetic strip. He's a genius, you know, and I love that idea. So I'm going to steal it, and I'm going to do it. Right, so first port of call, what I'm going to do is measure from here, which is the end, up to here, and then we're going to mark out 70, which is right here. So the Super Cub is here, CRF is here, and the Africa Twin's here. So we're going to go middle, we're going to go 70, which is just here. And then I have to work out which drill bit I need for these. Oh, look at those sexy drills. Also, what I want to do is choose which washers I'm going to use. So they're the ones I'm going to go with. So I'll just put those there for now. Right, let's go back to my mark. Right, so here's the mark here. I hope you can see it. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go on this little, what do you call it, little leaf indentation bit. I'm going to go draw a line right to the edge, and then I'm going to go in the middle here. So it's not bang on the edge and it's not too far in. But you've got to remember is that bit is quite thick. So you've got to allow for that. So just put a little dot through it. And there we go. So the next bit is make a little dent so your drill doesn't slip. Cover your ears. And then hopefully that's as straight as I'm going to get, and we'll just drill straight through. Well, that was a good drill bit, wasn't it? Good news is it went through. Bad news is they're not so sexy after all. That may have been my fault. I may have been off angle. I'm not taking all the blame for that, but I should have done it with a little drill first and then gone through with a bigger one. I was being a little bit cocky then. But what can you do, eh? I've made a deliberate mistake just to show you something for when it goes wrong. Things go wrong, usually when I do them. And I'm going to show you something now. Well, what I'm going to show you is this bit here. You can see where I've drilled right on this bit here. Now I felt all the way up there, felt all the way down there, either side of it. But I didn't feel this bit. It didn't bump into my hands. I just went like this and I didn't feel it because it's set slightly further back. That's exactly where 70 centimetres is, and I tried to drill a hole through that. So that's probably why it broke, because it caught on this bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the hole. So I've got an extra hole here for drainage. I've just drilled a hole for drainage. I'm going to just move it up here slightly, and then we're going to start again. So don't be like me, do it properly, but at least it gives the comment section something to talk about. Just double check in case someone's built another one. We're going to do it around about there. That should do us. It doesn't have to be precise. This is not science, you know. It's just a bloke with a drill that likes to break stuff. So I'm going to go up to 5.5, but first I'm going to learn from my mistakes, and I'm going to drill a slightly smaller hole. We're going to go 4.2 first. So that's how thick I want it, but I'm going to drill with that one first, because unlike the other one, I don't want to break it. So I'm going to go a little bit more gently. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Cover your ears. That actually screws in there and doesn't come out. That's perfect. I lucked out on that bit. Right, so just going to clean that up a little bit. Put the little split washer through, and then, weirdly enough, it now screws in. This wasn't planned. This is just luck. So that screws in, like so. And then we can attach this bit on the bottom, and then hold this straight while I tighten the bottom bit up as much as I can. And there you go. You've got a little tie down hook. And just to prove they're the right size. So this is the hook on the end of the strap. Just goes through there, ties in. It's got something nice to get some purchase on over the handlebars, and it keeps the bike nice and safe. So I'm going to do the same as that on the other side without the drill breaking bit and the mistakes. Right, here we are on the other side. Let's just measure that because the measurements obviously changed. Excuse me, I'm in front of the camera. So we're now on about 66. So now if we go 66 this side, it's around there. Double checking there's nothing under here. Tip of the day. So just a little dot there. Cover your ears. Put the smaller one in. There you go. It's easy when the thing's not in the way, isn't it? And then just put that on the bottom. And there you go. That one's done. So the moral of the story is check under the ramp for bits that get in the way. It's quite simple. Honest mistake, my mistake. Hold my hands up, both of them. I just didn't really look. If I'd have spent more time looking at what I was doing rather than setting up cameras and lights, then probably I would have seen that. But it's not the end of the world, it's just a hole in a bit of metal. No one died, and I don't care, to be honest. So we're going to crack on and do the next thing now, which is attaching the magnetic strips. Although I've got 2 more of these to put on the back, I'm not going to put them on just yet, because I'm not 100% sure where I want them. Because of paddock stands and other things that go at the back, taking the wheel on and off, I'm not entirely sure where I want these. So I'm going to wait till I've got a bike on there, measure it up with that, and then see if I do. It's unlikely I'm going to use back ones, to be honest. You probably only need 2. But I've got 2 emergency ones as backup anyway, just in case I need them. So I'm not going to do those today, that's the reason. So let's crack on with these. Right, so what I'm going to do with these is I've got 3 of them. I've got a really long one, I've got small, I've got medium. I'm only going to use 2. I'm going to use this one, the long one, and probably the medium one. The short one, which is this one, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that one yet, because I don't want any up this end, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So for now, we're going to attach the long one and the medium one, and they're going to go, can't see that on the camera, I'll move that in a minute. Right, so this is roughly where I want them. I've got one here, and the other one's just here. And they're up by the front wheel, and the reason I don't want them anywhere else is on that side I'm okay because I'm left-handed, so everything will go on this side. On this side it's on my right hand side. I would prefer on my left hand side, which is that way when I'm working, but there's a reason for that. The reason I want them up here and not down there is because in the middle here, this bit here, this is where the center stand goes, and I've got the lifts for the off-road bikes, so everything slides in and out of here, and I've got the oil pan. When I drain the oil, that all goes here, and at the back a paddock stand just about fits between the runners here. So if I put a paddock stand on the back and I've got these, it'll interfere with the wheels. So I kind of want to keep all this space quite empty so I can get in and out, so it's nice and easy to slide stuff in and out. Because if you put the magnetic stuff right under here and you've got anything metal, it's going to keep sticking to it in and out, if that makes sense. I know it makes sense to me, and the way I work. And the reason I like these is simply because of this. If you are working and you don't want your stuff rattling around, just place it on there. Nuts, bolts, you can have them all separate, all lined up, and they won't just get knocked on the floor and knocked out of the way. They're quite handy. And if you've got tools as well, you can just have your Allen keys there, or what else have I got? The thing I was using as a centre punch. It just sits there and it doesn't rattle around when you're banging stuff, when you're moving a bike around, it doesn't rattle around on the table, it just stays there. And that was Bill's tip, so thank you, Bill. I know this is only my finger, but if you look up here, which you can't see, my face is ecstatic with joy from your idea. So let's get on with drilling some more holes. These ones are slightly smaller. I'll work out the size and then we'll go from there, and I'll get these in place. And also this time I will check underneath to see if there's anything in the way. Top tip. So here we have my nuts and bolts and my washers. So we're just going to work out which size is the best. So what we're going to do is go with M5s with the nuts and then the 2 washers. So that's what we're going to go with, and there's 2 on each. There's one on this end, one on that end, one on that end, one on that end. And guess how many that is? That's right, that's 4. Right, so we get it in a position that I really want it. And I'll just mark that with the Sharpie, both ends. And I'll do the same the other side. You know what I'm going to say? Cover your ears. You know when I said those things jump around when you do stuff? I was just proving a point. Just making sure they're big enough. Line that back up with the holes. Perfect. We should drop one of these through this end and one through the other end, and then just attach the nut to the bottom with another washer, of course. So a little 8mm socket on the bottom and the Allen key on the top, and that's just to tighten it up. And then the same this end. There you go, one magnetic holder in place. Got all the wonderful stuff, I can stick to it. Now let's crack on with the other side. Right, so what I'm going to do with this side is just wind this in out the way, then move that to where I want it. Mark up again with the Sharpie. Cover your ears. And I'm just going to use the little magnetic one to clear up all the little bits. Get them out the way, like so. And then just put the nuts and bolts in. It's as simple as that. Right, so there we go. That's the end of another video. Another one in the garage. Yes, with a few mistakes, but who cares? I don't care. It's my stuff, and if I don't care, you shouldn't care. I leave the mistakes in on purpose. I don't make the mistakes on purpose, but I leave them in because nobody's perfect. Let's face it, we all make mistakes. The key is, do you learn from them? And I tend to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I still make mistakes over and over again. But as I said, we all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But we got the job done. Nobody died. I didn't even cut myself. So therefore, not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. I've got these fantastic magnetic holders in place now. So thank you, Billy, for one, for supplying them, and two, for the tip. I really appreciate that. And I've got these lashing points now so I can hold the bikes up without them falling over, because that front wheel holder, let's face it, is not the most robust in the world. As I said at the beginning of the video, I am looking to replace that, but for now the lashing points will have to do. We did it. We made a few mistakes, but we did it. Leave a comment downstairs in the comment section if you so desire, if it's constructive or just for fun. Just say hello. It's a community thing we got going on here. We're not here to slag each other off. We're just here to have a little bit of fun. And while we're in lockdown, I'm doing garage stuff. Yeah, I'm not the greatest at it, but I just want you to know that you could do it too. Just go for it. Just pick up some tools and drill some holes, cut stuff. Basically just have a go. If it's stuff like this, what's the worst that can happen? You make an extra drain hole. No big deal. So let's wrap this one up. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, to do all those things that you need to do. Also, hit that notification bell so you guys can get the drop on these videos. I shall see you on the next one. You know I love you all. Stay safe. Fish out. Right, so what I'm going to do now is going to stick you guys back on a tripod so you're a little bit more solid. I'm going to run through some of the stuff I'm going to do to the workbench before I do it. That makes sense? No, it doesn't really. Shut up. Start again, you f***ing idiot. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sit down, put you guys on a tripod. Tripod? What the f*** is a tripod? What's a tripod? I'm not even talking to anyone. Right, so what I'm going to do... Right, what I'm going to do now is put you guys on the tripod, back on the tripod. Right, so what I'm going to do is stick you guys back on the tripod. I'm going to sit down, then I'm going to run through... Right, so what I'm going to do... Balls. I've got a short one and I've got a medium one. They're like bears. I've got a baby bear. I've got a, it's the little one, medium bear. Is there a medium bear? No. And I've got a long, there's not a long bear. A wrong analogy. I've got three different sizes. I've got small. Let's try that again. Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead, get gone. Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead and get gone.